Chipping 101 with Golf Sidekick. Players, there's two techniques for chipping. You can either use the same club and pick many different spots to land the ball on, or you can use many clubs but use the same spot. So when I first learned to chip, I used the pitching wedge from everywhere. So what you do with that is you get a feel for the one club that you chip around the green with. Now that can be a pitching wedge, it can be a 50 degree, a 54 degree. I generally don't like to go any higher than 54 degrees because I think that the reliability of the spin for mid to high handicappers with the 60 degree or 58 degree is not quite as reliable as something like a 50, 54 pitching wedge. Now when you use the one club chipping technique, what you do is you use the same club almost exclusively whenever chipping, and you actually change the spot where you want to land the ball on the green. This is how I first learned to chip, and it could be how you first learned to chip well. Now I'll show you how I used to first learn to chip. Is that I used to put down coins and CDs, anything kind of like a dinner plate size. I used to try land the ball on that first to start getting a feeling for how to chip. And as you get better, you can slowly reduce the size of the thing that you want to land the ball on. So I'm going to use a poker chip now. There's a chip over here to that little pin down there, and I'll show you how a 50 degree can be used for that chip and many other chips as we go around the green. I'm going to perform 4 chips for you, all with the 50 degree wedge from different sides of the practice green. I haven't done any of them yet, so they may not work out and I may look like a fool, but I don't chip like this anymore. This is how I learned to chip. So if your chipping is not that great, just pick one club and get great at feeling the weight you need to hit it onto the spots that you select. That'll stand you in good stead for if you want to move on to the next chipping technique, which I'll show you next. Now remember, the fundamentals for every chip are exactly the same. Weight on the left side, open stance, hands ahead of the ball, no flipping. But another secret I like to use is to grip it down, almost to the metal sometimes, depending how delicate it actually is. I never chip holding the club right at the top. You'll always see my hands are generally an inch or maybe half an inch short of where the grip meets the metal. Okay, so let's start with this chip, a little left to righter. Big slope from the left. We pick a spot. I'm going to play it off my front foot because it's going to go a bit higher and roll a bit more. Okay, so I've hit that to tap in distance about a foot. Next ball is over here. It looks like a bit of a downhill chip. The lie is probably not great. I just rolled it over here. Yeah, it's a bit sandy. And this is a bit of a hard ball. This is a Volvic bismuth, which I would not recommend if you're looking for greenside spin. Okay, so it's downhill from the left, and you can see those 2 leaves on the green there, right over here-ish, and I'm going to land it probably just short of that. It's downhill, so the grain's going to take it to the hole. So we'll land it just on that kind of bare patch there before that first leaf. Okay, looks like that's about a foot as well. So we landed that one a bit further on the green, and it's worked out very nicely. Now we've got one more over here. Let me just kick this into the grass, get a random lie. Okay, a bit of a bare lie, not the best. Now let's go for a bit of a longer one uphill. Okay, uphill, 50 degree, probably not my first choice. I mean, this is easily a 7 or an 8 iron, this. But let's go with a 50 degree. We're going to want to land this like halfway to the hole. We probably put that to about 2 foot, which is quite good. So this one was about a foot. That's going to be a tap in. This one we went about halfway to the hole. We've got about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. And once you practice those enough, you won't even worry about them. And then we've got another foot on the first one. I could probably put this in just with my wedge. There you go. Now we move on to my technique, which I feel could be for more advanced players, but if you start off with this technique, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you feel comfortable. The main thing with chipping is that you have to be comfortable so that you can have the confidence to commit to the shot. Because once you don't have commitment, that's when you start going back to your old ways of flipping, of falling on the back foot. With this, you need to be committed. But if you use the techniques that I show you, of keeping all your weight on the left side, hands ahead of the ball, you can no longer flip the ball, you can no longer flip the club at the ball, and you can no longer fall back. It's physically, practically impossible. Now my technique entails picking one spot, normally at the front of the green. Now, we use the same spot for every single chip shot that we have. It's normally within a foot and a yard or two of the front of the green. Okay, so there's a little bit of variation, but we just change the club. So if we take a higher lofted club, it comes in higher, it lands softer, and it rolls out less for when the pin is closer. When the pin's further and you have more green to work with, you can pick the same spot, but use a lower lofted club for something like an 8 or a 7 iron, sometimes even a 6 iron, and it'll roll out way more to the hole. So if you have like 40 yards between you and the edge of the green and the pin, you can hit even sometimes a 6 iron chip right onto the front, let it roll up like a putt. If the pin's cut a couple yards from the edge of the green and you have a very short carry onto the green, that's when you can use the 58 degree, picking the same spot. I'll show you how it works now. I'm going to randomly pick a spot at the front of the green, okay? I'll show it with the poker chip. I'm going to run through 5 chips here, same spot, different club. Okay, that's it. It's about a Okay, that swung around to about 3 feet. Now, of course, I've never hit these chips. I'm not taking much time on them, but on the golf course, you have to take your time. Read the green, envision the ball landing on its spot, watch it go to the hole, take note of the grain. Is it into the grain, down grain? If it's down grain, you need less club. If it's into the grain, you need more club. Most people immediately just pull the 58 or 60 degree to chip with. Some guys are good at that. If it works for you, it works for you. But majority of the guys I see playing are hitting their 60 degree, they're duffing it, they're chunking it, they're teething it, they're leaving it halfway, they're overhitting it. It's a very, very technical club. You need to have great hands, you need to have great confidence to hit the 58 or 60 degree wedge. With these low runners, there's a lot of room for error, where even if you teeth it a little bit and get it started on the line, you may even be left with a 2, 3, 4, 5 footer. Whereas if you chunk or teeth a 58 or 60 degree, normally it's because you've let the club get out of your control and the thing just travels miles. Or you chunk it and you leave it still short of the green with another chip, crapping yourself for the next chip. So give it a try, tell me what you think. Narrow your stance a little bit. Yeah, okay, there we go, that looks great. Now, yeah, that looks good. Now your hands should be in front of the ball, okay? They're kind of in line with it now. So, no, don't need to move back, you're okay there. Now just push your hands forward a bit. There. And yeah, and your weight on the left side. Okay, great. Now take a practice stroke like that, and you can hit down on it. Good. Again. Okay, see now where your ball is, where you like to hit the ball.
Yeah.
It's not in the front of your stance. So try play it off your back foot.
Right.
Try it off the back foot.
Okay.
And hands ahead of the ball, more ahead. Just push your hands ahead. There. Okay, now take a practice stroke. Okay, there we go. Now do that, hit the ball like that.
I see, so that's my natural stat. Okay.
Perfect, weight on the left side. Yeah. Look at that.
Interesting.
Okay, boyfriends, now you've got the art of chipping down. You can chip it to 3 feet, 2 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. Using the 9, 7 or 11 ball drill, you'll be able to work out what your average chip is, what distance you are to the hole. What you do after that is you focus purely on that distance and inside that distance to the hole. So if your average is 5 feet, you're practicing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 footers non-stop. This is what's going to save your game. If you can chip it to 5 feet and knock it in from 5 feet 6, 7 out of 10 times, you're going to shave a lot of strokes of your score. If you can lag putt to 4, 3, 5 feet to the hole and you nail those, confirming yourself a 2 putt, you're going to shave strokes off your score. Now, whatever your average is, just practice those, okay? Don't worry about anything else. I give you full permission to ignore lag putting, to ignore 12 footers, 8 footers, 10 footers. Focus purely on your 4, 5, 3, 2, whatever your average chip is to the hole. Just do the circle drill where you put the balls around the hole and you just go clockwise or anti-clockwise each ball and you try to get all of them in the hole. Once you can do all your 5 footers, move on to your 4 footers, your 3 footers, your 2 footers, and back again. Up to you, however long your back holds out. Or, like in Thailand where it's 100 degrees, until you pass out.